Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be talking about the ownership experience of the Hummer H2, what some of the problems you might encounter and what I like and don't like about the Hummer, and generally what it's just like to have a Hummer H2 as one of your vehicles, if not your daily driver. Alrighty, with that being said, let's jump in and go for a quick spin. Right, jump in here. Very nice and comfortable seating, I should say that. Get it in here, drive, all set. Alrighty. I just love the assistance of the power steering in the Hummer. It is very easy to turn. You could probably turn this using just a finger, a single finger. Great vehicle. I just love the experience. And let's look for somewhere where we can park and talk about the Hummer H2. I believe this should be good enough. Let's park somewhere here and I will jump out. I'll turn off the engine first so we have a bit of quiet, and then I'll jump out here in a little bit. So talking about the Hummer H2, you guys can see the interior. It's very spacious, nice, comfortable, so long as it doesn't start cracking like it's ultimately would happen to almost all the Hummers that are parked outside under the sun. So the dash, of course, it's not the best. It looks really nice. It would have been really great if they used better materials. Everything seems to be well positioned, but it's just that the quality of materials used, you see, it's just breaking up everywhere. If they had used, taken a little bit more, added a little bit more to the cost and just used a little bit more premium materials, I wouldn't even go too far. I would just say even the equivalent materials of the same vehicles that were produced like Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, they had really nice interiors that have held up nicely over the years. So I would have been really happy if Hummer had used those materials or the same suppliers in the H2. Okay, I love this gauge cluster. It gives you all the information you need. It has some stepper motors behind those gauges, so you might find, for example, that your oil pressure is not reading correctly. At times it's just at the level of the gauge itself. When the stepper motor dies, then you would have any reading on the gauge. All right, first generation Hummers, this is what the interior looks like, especially the airbag. Second generation, they changed the whole steering wheel. Again, it looks like the steering wheel from the Chevy trucks from about the same time period, but I think it's a huge improvement over the first generation if you look at the interior of the second gen. Same with the door panels. They changed quite a bit over on the door panels between the first and the second generation. First generation not so solid, but the second generation, it's really nicely appointed and very well done. The buttons on the Hummer are very prone to fading, so just be aware of that. With repeated use, as you can see here for the fan, that has faded over time as you control the fan speed. Also, the steering controls, this will also fail depending on how you use the controls. On mine, the radio, the digital screen is dead, but I can still control the radio using the steering controls and even the controls on there. It's just that you are not seeing any feedback information on the screen. Alright guys, let's jump outside. So when you look at the Hummer, most people, even though it's mostly the press that reported that it wasn't a very green vehicle, but you don't see many complaints from ordinary people, hating on Hummers or hating the owners of Hummers. It's mostly the press that talks about that. In real life, I don't think I've seen many people who have a negative view of the Hummer. It's during its time, during its day, it was a great conversation piece. You pulled up to the gas station, which was where you would find most Hummers, and people were always around, ready to ask questions and find out, take a look at the interior, find out what it is like driving the Hummer. For me, not so much. The Hummer has lost a lot of that its cachet, but abroad, in certain countries, I believe, like the former Soviet republics, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, you have a small but very dedicated and hardcore community there who cater to vehicles like this, and they still enjoy driving Hummers over there a lot compared to, I would say, North America and the United States. Of late, there has been quite a bit of interest in the Hummer with the Hummer EV, which is soon to be released, and GM put a video online, and if you watch that video where they took the Hummer EV to Moab to test the vehicle, they also had as chase vehicles the regular Hummer H2, which I found really interesting. The biggest cost for me on an ongoing basis has been the cost of fuel. Apart from that, insurance is quite reasonable. The repairs I've done are just items that were neglected over a long period of time and just needed proper diagnosis and repairs. The first thing I did was look into my airbag situation for the rear suspension, and that was an easy fix. The diagnosis was kind of scary because there I was shooting in the dark, not sure about what was exactly wrong, but luckily I was able to figure it out soon without taking too much of my time, and that was great. It was an easy fix, not too expensive, and that got taken care of. If your airbag in the back is gone, you find a Hummer squatting, and it just looks really terrible. It looks like it has what they call the Carolina squat, which is not good. The second thing I had was the power steering pump, which went out, and that is connected to the braking system. So I also took care of that. It wasn't very expensive, and I did the labor myself, so saved quite a bunch on there. The other problem people will talk about would be the transmission, and for me, I think it's just people stepping too hard when they're taking off from a stop, and it puts a lot of strain on that transmission. It's a very heavy vehicle, the H2, and you can't drive it as if you were driving a Mazda Miata, which you can step on the gas and do burnouts. The Hummer is quite heavy. You step on too hard on it, and you will find out that you have to replace your transmission sooner than later. So for me, my ownership experience so far, it hasn't been long enough, has been very positive, and I think that with just driving diligently, driving carefully, I will still be able to extract many years of service from this Hummer. Also the door panels and interior panels, like I showed you, if you're careful, clean them up, put some plastic protectant, and if possible, pack your Hummer in the inside in the garage. Then you can push your luck even further and enjoy many more years of service from your Hummer H2. Alright guys, so that's what I think about the ownership experience so far. For me, it's largely positive. I am very happy with my purchase, and hopefully I don't have any major failures here. The heating and ventilation AC system inside, it has some motors that direct the airflow, and those are known to fail at a very high rate. It's very difficult getting in there underneath the dash, but it's doable. So one more thing to bear in mind. Alright guys, that's what I had for you, and hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now, and thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can keep more Hallmark content coming in. Bye for now.